I think this is where we start talking in this sort of direction, because we're gonna talk about waiting. And waiting is good, as long as you're not waiting in line. Generally waiting, because you're waiting for a lot of things, right? You're not supposed to wait for a specific thing. That's actually rushing, and you're trying to be the first one to get your thing. If it's truly important, maybe it makes sense, but waiting for, like, food, bro. Like, I will never be your friend if you wait for food, bro. You already made such a mistake that you're no longer fireproof, which kind of is funny. Like, there's so many ways to describe fireproof, and one big one is like our friendship has to be fireproof. If you don't make it fireproof, if you make failures, I'm sorry, bro. You have been exposed. All right? If you make terrible mistakes, you will be exposed. One of the biggest mistakes people do is stay silent. They don't talk much. This mistake actually trickles down to my apartment manager or apartment leader shenanigans, where she's always fucking wondering, why are people not gathering? So basically, people have to gather from the entire apartment. There's technically 50 home owners, or rather, apartment owners. Some even own two complexes instead of one, because two is better than one, isn't it? How fun it is to own sometimes. And only like 5 people came to the meeting. Normally it's 10, but we got 5 this time before the heating season. It was third meeting in the fucking year, so people kind of just ditched, I guess, but it's bad. You don't want that to happen. You want people talking, or at least having an opportunity to meet more often, so, like, it kind of equalizes. Like, if they don't want to come, maybe they want to come at their own particular time, right? But, yeah, it's just a simple mistake that I will have to fucking come up to that person and tell them that they're making a mistake, that they can fix that mistake. But I don't trust them anymore, do I? I don't trust authorities who make mistakes. That's exactly the thing that authorities are not supposed to make. One thing to every policeman and every person who deals with police: the most important thing that police has to police is technically cars, but the real problem is goddamn noise. Noise complaints is like the fucking #1 problem. Alright? And it will forever be like this. If a policeman does not appreciate that this is the problem, you have all the reason to respect them less. That's it. It's big enough deal, as I've already said. To have a reason to be more bitter towards police is a big deal. You can even ask them of, like, what, do you want to go to murder cases? Do you want to talk to criminals and brain damage yourself? No. Noise complaints. Ask for respect. For people to respect each other, right? Push onto people who are not respectful. Yada yada, basically. It evolves into this, and it's like, the police gonna take the bullets. I'll fucking celebrate that shit. Because if they don't understand that noise is their utmost priority, I'm sorry, bro. You have to understand the fundamental things when you are a part of authority. So in a way, that's another aspect of being fireproof, not only authority, but friendships. Fuck it, let's have them symbolized. You're technically setting the fucking apartment on fire if you allow people to just make noise. And again, I've been in a apartment meeting that fucking sucked. And that one's kind of scary, when it sucks. When it starts off with, like, hey, let me contact your mom because she's so important. Holy shit. Do you not fucking understand the situation whatsoever, dude? This is, how I call apartment meeting right now. Gathering in a circle. Meeting. We fucking will come up with hieroglyphs at this point. I will become Asian to kick some ass. Because as long as I'm Asian, I am allowed in Europe to kick ass. I'm just allowed. People will know that I am completely nerfed. I'm not gonna fucking defeat many people, but whatever I choose to defeat, I get them. It's a worthy battle to just leave us to it. You might think what I just said means nothing, but it means everything to me. Again, I have the world split into 4 regions, into 4 different cultures. And Asians just happen to know martial arts more than anyone else. Why is that, right? It is technically quite intimidating of like, I can be fucking deadly with a small handy weapon, right? I don't have to worry about having some big ass fucking bulky bat or whatever. I can do a lot of damage with a small throwing weapon. It doesn't fucking matter. And all of a sudden I can intimidate. But, of course, there are side effects to it. Yeah, there's bonuses and side effects to nerfing yourself. Like, you would think having a weapon skill is somehow useful, but I mean, it can be dangerous when everyone wants to learn that shit. I was stressed because of noise, I'm still stressed because of noise, I know that nobody fucking respects me when I fucking set my boundaries to get overstepped on. It's just how it is. People don't have the capacity of being fireproof, which is very fucking sad. Alright? Around me, people basically already died. Like, they're just dead. They're just fucking useless. People are not equal to people, and it's the ultimate waking up moment. You know, max stats wakes you up to this moment where you can just be better human being. Meaning that the previous version fucking sucks. You don't want to deal with the previous version. You want to deal with the newest one. And so, when it comes to the newest version, this is why it's worth waiting. That's why. It is worth waiting for the newest version of a person, of a device, of technology, of a system improvement, the latest version. In fact, I see an upload that's potentially relevant from our respected boy. Truth about today. We have better and bigger things, guys. And we potentially lie to ourselves that, well, back in the day, everything was cheaper and more affordable. Maybe there's some aspects to it, but there's the other aspects of we have the best things. And if we can employ the best things when we fucking acquired them because we stopped waiting, we acquired something. Like, you could have been fucking waiting this whole time for television. Now you're gonna get the best television you can possibly get, right? If you're waiting, like, even for a girlfriend, you just wait for that shit and they keep improving. I don't have to do shit. Women don't even exist to me, so keep improving, you know? I am doomed to wait in many aspects. I often actually say just like wait because the future is better than the past. And this advice is literally it. Except I don't know how to spell future, but maybe in the future I do know how to spell future, and that's why it's worth waiting, right? Subscribe now just to wait for what happens in the future. No, seriously, I need subscribers. But right now, because I want my first fucking dollar, guys. I swear I will share, I will give whatever the fuck you want, but I want to get my first dollar. There are things that you, like, don't want to wait, you want to, like, break through certain fucking thresholds, certain barriers. You want to move away from, like, shitty non-fireproof places that are fucking burning down. And again, fire is any disturbance. Fire is a lot more things than you think. All right? It's any disturbance. Even silence can be disturbing. And that is fire. The definition of fire has to be expanded. It's not just your life falling apart and you having problems. It's any disturbance. Anything that feels like it doesn't work necessarily. It should be the opposite. That's fire. Even again, not having something is a disturbance, but if you can force yourself to wait, it's a good solution to a disturbance, technically. Right? You wait and pray, and that sort of fucking religious behavior kind of manifest, basically, versus fire. Which is why it actually looks religious when you see the very first thumbnail. That shit looks religious. Like, even this fucking OS system is like Holy See or something, right? And that's why it's religious, right? A person is trying to like make his own thing, like become completely independent in terms of like computer operations. That's a big deal. Like, you spend time in a very safe space. You do still have to, you know. Are you really going to be virus proof when you're dealing with the internet? Probably not. You have to deal with, you know, a lot of people are building safety systems, all that shit, and you still need the latest thing. In fact, I'm rather willing to wait for Windows to fucking ripen up before I switch. But I'm probably never gonna switch. I just gonna pay 30 fucking bucks. It's gonna happen soon, guys. 30 bucks. I'm not switching to Windows 11. I don't give a fuck. I will wait. You know? I'm good at waiting. I can wait. We don't have to switch things. We don't have to get the newest thing. We don't have to be forced to do that shit. Otherwise, it just shows a corrupt system. In fact, every subscription service is just bad. And I forgot how to spell these things too. These are just bad. Because you can't wait, you have to use the damn thing. You can't wait, money is fucking leaking out of your fucking pockets. You literally just stabbed your wallet, and now it's bleeding. Subscription service, welcome. You are basically incentivized not to wait, and this is the opposite of what you should be doing. You will fucking burn into a crisp if you make these mistakes. You know? You subscribe to a bunch of things, and you're not using them. What are you doing? What are you doing? You subscribe to me, and I ask for $100 every month, and you're not using me right now. You're not watching my videos. Very bad. Very naughty. I might actually become members only channel. Like, the only thing I upload is members only. That would be crazy, right? It's to do right now, but I'll wait. You know? It's just like you wait to take revenge on people. Even revenge is sweeter when you wait. When you sit on it. When you let it fucking reach its fucking pinnacle moment. When revenge is unavoidable. It just fucking bleeds out. It just happens naturally. Everything accumulates and happens naturally. You don't actually have to worry about getting the latest thing unless you're the latest thing yourself, you know, and you just happen to have a partner. There's also a latest thing. I love how I'm waiting for, like, you know, my debit card is expiring soon. I'm waiting to go to the bank. But I will fucking do two things at once. Right? My debit card is expired, and I don't really have access to my bank, to be honest. You know, I can't go through security. I don't have the security app right now. Okay. But next year I will be forced. Like, there's no even chance for me to fucking avoid this meeting, and it just completely makes a difference. where like I have to do it. Like in fact, it's about 6 months. It's about 6 months, bro. It's on my birthday, that meeting. So yeah, I will have to do my thing. I'm forced. After just waiting long enough, like now there's not going to be any doubt of what I have to do. I just have to do it. I have to force through it. Otherwise, I'm just fucking rolling in my bed, basically, trying to figure out if I have enough excuses to excuse myself from doing something, right? Guys, if you think this is a good video, it only gets more interesting. There's one more spicy meme. You think Andrew Tate is unstoppable. Well, unfortunately, he isn't. In fact, we know his biggest weakness. He talks about it all the time. If you pay attention, Andrew Tate talks about having too much money all the fucking time. This Pokemon has a weakness. Too much money. And he's like really upset of like, the food doesn't taste good. Nothing tastes good. There's no pressure, you know, into making this into like a game where you just keep upgrading based on your actual skills. You scammed your way into the fucking top. What did you expect? That was exactly what was supposed to happen. Now you're literally the fucking on the throne of every scammer ever. Everyone should know about Andrew Tate just to avoid being like this man. The moment YouTube has kicked him out of their platform, like that was over. That's rest in pieces moment. This guy probably never coming back. If I'm YouTube CEO, I'm not bringing back Andrew Tate, but I will talk to him directly and say that to his fucking face. You know, you do have too much money. Go spend your money. You don't have time for YouTube. You can build your own platform, obviously. I will encourage him to do whatever the fuck else but YouTube, bro. Get the fuck out of here. But he literally fucking talks about it all the time. Just too much. It's too much for him. That's all he thinks about. That's the thing that bothers him the most. I buy 20 steaks. If you're not buying steak, you're just a brokey, but steaks don't feel like anything to me. So it's just like, it's such a fucking stupid thing. He's trying to justify having all the money, but he's not enjoying it whatsoever. But he's also outspoken, so he will always declare, this is my weakness, this is what happened to me, guys. I hope you can empathize. I hope we can absolutely, dude. We definitely empathize with this situation, bro. But this is what's going on, guys. Even the most successful people, whatever the fuck they're successful at, as long as it's not scamming other people, because that shit don't fly too many times. There is a limit where you need to be fireproof, you know, and potentially just stop yourself. Just wait. You know, okay, you have enough money. Just fucking shut it down. Shut down the fucking money printing machine and figure out how to live your life. Because you can't possibly live your life in just like chasing luxury and enjoying luxury. There has to be more to it if that's your biggest problem now. Right? Every problem can be fucking solved. I swear to God. If I've ever learned anything in life, is that life is fair because every problem can be solved. That's why. And revenge is good. Life is fair because revenge is the greatest thing, you know, that you should think about all the time. Revenge. You must understand, like, if you say life is not fair, you are stupid. If you don't think life is fair, you are stupid. You have to rewire your brain, figure out how life is actually fair, because this is the thing that should never be fucking touched. There's no such thing as life is not fair. This shit does not exist, bro. You have to rewire your fucking brain. Even fucking migrants get to travel with a boat and be praised in some fucking degenerate country of UK. Everyone can fucking gain an upgrade in their lives. Everyone can take revenge in some fashion. Everyone can ride the wave out of their misery. This is never true. And if you believe it's true, it's time to solve it as a fucking problem. Even Andrew Tate fucking skipped a few steps and now he's fucking crying because, oh shit, I skipped something very important. Bro thinks he can run away from everything, all the matrices basically. Let's run away from UK. Let's run away from being a brokey, but I mean, how many things can you run away from? Right? By chasing them. Most of the time you can run away from things by waiting, by outlasting someone else, by being strong, by being healthy. Imagine, some people might be bothered by others who are drinkers or smokers. Basically, my dad. I am bothered by my dad's existence. Alright? But if you are healthy, you're gonna outlive these monsters, basically. At least I had face-to-face example of what to fucking outlive. Avoid being unhealthy, because these people are not meant to fucking win against you. Smokers and drinkers, nah. Never. Even if you are waiting, it's like a rainbow. But the real success is right here. The real success is when you take an opportunity because you know when the opportunity can be taken. Everyone can just wait and have the rainbow experience of a new technology comes in and gets replaced with another fucking rainbow technology. Alright? But the most crucial moment is to pick up and appreciate something that came into your life and it's no longer improving. That shit you have to appreciate. In a way, you have to appreciate death, just like Charlie Kirk's death. Everyone appreciates that thing. Some people appreciate it too much, and they have to be fired. I was about to punch them in the face, but fired. I guess that's revengeful in the world of capitalism. Except you can't do it directly. But it is what it is, right? No one in capitalism wants to be tainted by shitty friendships, as I've said. No one wants to do that. This is why firing happens. This is why the most, eerie thing that can happen in your life is just lose your job. Get fired. It's the most fire thing ever, isn't it? And of course, because it's a FIREPROOF series, I have to just simply say a sentence. If you celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, if you celebrating death in general of your opposition that didn't do anything, didn't fucking attack you in any way, you feel like words are suppressing your worlds that you like, words are killing your entire world. I'm sorry, bro. You're not that fucking big of a deal. You should be fired. You know? You're not fireproof because you simply are not respectful. That's what it fucking requires the most. You have to respect. And sometimes you have to respect the grind. You have to respect the final destination of, like, where are you going? You have to fucking calculate that shit in your head. And instead of becoming the example of what's not to do, of the example of there is such thing as too much money. Like, absolutely. Now, is every billionaire inside the area of where they have too much money? I can't tell you that. There's a possibility, again, to actually use that money, but it's no longer going to be within, like, building businesses even. You have to go beyond that. And Elon Musk, for example, he's kind of, like, saving his ass by becoming politician, basically, by knowing that money can technically pay for his fucking campaign, right? One more thing about the rainbow. It would be really fucking awkward if you waited all this time to not use the service. You go in and you just get scared of. You just look into the prices and just walk away. You waited all this time. Never fucking underestimate the power of doing stuff when you waited for that thing to happen. This is when you know, like, this is happening. That thing is happening. Even though my engine is not groundbreaking, but it's wonderful. And it's doing two things at once, right? is doing 2D and the 3D problem solving, at very least. Again, I will never be the best at doing anything, but it's not about that. It's not about being the best. It's like the greatest fucking lie of all time. You just have to function. Function the longest. Things fall apart. People get disappointed. People give up on waiting sometimes. And they try to wait for the next thing. Because some of people are just NPCs. Some people's lives is like constantly waiting in line. That's all they fucking do. Which is why this advice is very useful in the end. We're all waiting for things to come out. Waiting for the new game, new GTA 6 to come out. Oh, wow. It's still not there yet, isn't it? But while fucking people waiting for a specific game, there's other games coming out. It's just people want to really get that specific thing simply because it's very popular, you know? And it turns into a trend, basically, of waiting. A trend that I have dissected fully. Hytale has failed, but the question mark still remains. People are still trying to revive Hytale, which is, like, mind-blowing to me. What are they doing? How can they not just give up, right? But it's the hype that drives people into crafting lies. You can often even fool yourself because the future is so bright for you specifically. You can bring something to life that you've nobody ever seen before. But now with AI, a lot of people are getting crushed. A lot of their dreams are getting crushed of achieving anything. They're just getting replaced and flooded, basically. And it don't matter how angry you are, AI is still flooding the internet and stealing views. It is actually quite devastating right now. New technology is still like, you might have waited for some kind of AI feature or whatever, but we're still just here. It's still supposed to be fought against and suppressed and regulated. AI is going to be stronger when it's not just like all over the place. And again, this is why we have the word like early adopters. Early adopters gonna fucking do this. There are inventors who appear from the very beginning of the cycle. I am technically an inventor of like anti-polygon rendering. Like no one is actually bragging about it. So I must be the inventor. Because you have to brag about it. You have to fucking raise your voice at everyone who's doing things wrong. And I'm constantly doing that right now. Like, I can't stop. Since the start of the series, a lot of things did change, and I'm just way, way more closer to doing exactly Temple OS. Something that people would be surprised, you know, if someone is doing anything similar. Just like, again, I just said the word, and it's already shining upon me. The Temple OS gods basically are overwatching. This whole thing is huge. It is in fact a temple. It is in fact a place where you can go just by saying the magic word. There was another aspect in his don't be fooled aspect to worry about. In order to not be fooled, I have my number system. I use the number system to represent a clock of where things are right now. Just to remind myself, this is capitalism. No one can say anything otherwise. Most people agree we live in capitalism. There's just no way out of this, right? The most baseline thing, the most fucking complaints of where the wrong thing's coming from, they always gonna come from capitalism. All the corruption, all the problems, they kind of stem from just one particular system, right? Socialism, where people are social and they talk to each other, that has the least amount of problems. You know, it's active, but it's the least amount of problems. But guess who even has the capacity to socialize? Like the highest level people. You know, the most social person is a fucking speaker, is a constant speaker to the audience. Like a fucking guru, you know, sits down and it's like, okay, or It's not even a church person. You can't even be a church person. You have to like genuinely be able to just off the cuff say things that you give a fuck about. Yes, there's Sadhguru. That's the only person that I know of that can just like gather a simple crowd and just talk to people. And even if he's kind of like unhinged in some ways, it is still an interesting thing to listen to. Interesting person. And that's all that matters. It cannot be problematic in most cases, no matter how fucking unhinged you are. If you are public like spiritual teacher, that's it. You know? You basically made it to perfection. You basically made it to the God level path. And most importantly, like extremely respected as a human being, just naturally, so nothing can go wrong. You cannot be exposed all of a sudden because you're just like, yeah, he's a weird fucking guy. But when it comes to capitalism, like it fucking steals people's souls. It destroys content that we put up on the internet. It makes us betray each other. It causes a lot of problems. And that shit has to be fucking nitpicked to the greatest fucking extent. You must become fireproof by understanding how money burns the world. How money destroys everything around you. How money is trying to own the things you care about. Because there's just like countless stories of money ruthlessly destroying things. I could just make a series about just that alone. Money destroying things. It might be a series next year. Just think about that. The next thing you hear about is businesses destroying things. So you have the money in people's hands. Some people are rich. Some people fucking piss you off because they're rich and famous. But the businesses are technically second tier, and you also hear a lot of news of businesses destroying things. First of all, businesses destroy themselves, and that impacts society significantly. They raise their prices, they change their infrastructure, they fucking don't treat their employees properly, all that shenanigan stuff. And this is the government. Now, everyone hates the government, and sometimes the government does something really bad. Sometimes. I actually don't want to overstate it, because sometimes it does the good things, right? And we hear about that too. It actually kind of like tries to balance itself out. And only when it's out of balance can you claim that government is truly problematic. You can find moments like that. You can find uprisings of people when people lost their patience. But, you know, this is not actually worldwide. It is not a daily occurrence. You're not under Big Brother being told what to do in your life. The government is not there to get you. The government is not slavery. Some people exaggerate this too much, by all means, and they should be focusing on the money side of things. Government is already pretty cold when it comes to the amount of problems that it causes. It's a lot of problems when it comes to just surrounding people. Your neighbors can cause a lot more problems than the fucking government could. Government gives me money. Government gives me money. The neighbors give me pain and suffering. And it is worth absolutely nothing, bro. It is worth fucking nothing. I would run away immediately the moment I have a fucking chance. I just leave. Yes, standing up for myself makes me strong, but suffering makes me weak. It balances out to be fucking nothing. Well, government is actually covering their asses most of the time. Like, they know how to fucking do that. You can't underestimate the government for covering their ass when it comes to problems. Especially when one part of the government causes the problem, then you elect the other part of the government to fix the problem, and all of a sudden, balanced. It's very hard to tell that something even fucking happens. So now, from now on, you put that shit in your brain. I have the number system that's still holding water like crazy. Buckets and buckets of insights, basically. I have to fucking cover this guy's face because I'm getting tired. You got too much money. You got to spend $5, Andrew Tate. $5, I will reveal your face in the end of the video. Yeah. Oh, oops, you don't give a fuck, do you? Money is the biggest problem, and you have to focus on that the most. All right, this is the baseline problem that makes everyone suffer. Everyone knows that, but they think they just want more money in the end. And that's not how it works, dude. You have to talk about money. You have to understand money better. You have to connect people through money. You have to first and foremost assume every single time that money is the problem. Someone fucking bought something and is causing noise, right? Someone does not appreciate your property, of how much money it fucking costs to just, of the things that you own, and you want to own that shit. And you might even fucking put them into court. You might sue them because they don't allow you to actually live a proper life in the thing that you have purchased that has incredible value right now. Money has to be respected in regard of solving problems very often. You can buy anything. And that's the biggest fucking solution to a lot of problems. You can just buy anything. You can buy tons and tons of duct tape. You can buy tons and tons of fucking shit that you can glue on your walls, on your windows. No one should stop you from fortifying yourself as well and making yourself comfortable in your room. You can have heating blankets. You can have automated lights that turn on when you come into the room, so you don't have to fucking worry about turning on lights. Lots of things can be fucking fixed. Lots of problems can be fixed. Lots of people can be silenced even with just money alone, right? You have to think about it very carefully. Technically, Mr. Beast has this like ultimate boost improvement, and he is Mr. Beast. He's a 6'6" beast. It's that kind of vibe. He's using the capitalism to boost himself significantly and understands it very well. The problem is that it's going to change, and potentially Mr. Beast is not going to play a big role in this. Like, AI is definitely quite a crux for him. He does not understand AI. He just thinks like, no, that's fine, I get thumbnails now. Like, that's it. That's all you get, bro. You get your soul back. Mr. Beast is actually going to get his soul back. His thumbnails are going to look fucking nice and crispy again. But that does not mean that he will actually know how to use AI when he is known for employing people. Right? It's not a good time for him to relearn something, to rebuild his empire. A lot of people will have to rebuild. A lot of the apocalypse that is happening right now is happening because of this one change that is going to ripple across the entire world. The clock will move forward very soon. It's happening. And the problem of money will become AI. The AI will be the talking point. You will talk about nothing else. You can already see it's kind of 50-50 split. It's battling its way in there. The AI topics are as loud as the money topics nowadays. But that's why my system works. It literally just says what the next thing is. The next thing is technology, and that feels like government. Feels like God to some people. And God happens to be like the greatest authority or whatever. The highest. So about that video that John Stossel uploaded, we need to discuss this, right? You waited long enough, and you have good stuff, all right? Yes, there are things to complain about. And most of those things is called people not being kind. See, everything is about money. You should complain that people are not kind, that they should spread kindness. In fact, it's just hard thing to do, and most charities don't work. Most charities fall apart. They don't do shit. People should just be more kind instead of pretending that you can manifest kindness by throwing money at random location. Charities just don't ever work. Human kindness works. Of course, there's another aspect of why it doesn't feel better. It does not feel better, especially the apocalypse, like brings out a bunch of demons. They can feel quite overwhelming. And I think it's gonna happen to America very soon. You couldn't even understand. Unavoidable. Do you understand? Unavoidable. Not possible.
We're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing.
And just as the government shuts down, as many as 4 million federal employees could go without a paycheck. 2 million troops could be forced to work without pay, leaving military.
Americans have very intricate systems of dealing with their own government. They can even shut it down, and it's unbelievable. I like the self-balancing causes that they're trying to do right now. It's actually quite fascinating. And I feel like it's fucking happening. But, it's literally tomorrow it's gonna be fucking announced. And yes, it happened before, but we don't know how long it's gonna last, right? We don't know what it means. It's just like ever-increasing panic of the government of like, oh yeah, everything is fine, guys. This is what the governments really don't want to fucking hear, but it might be forced to fucking sit down, and listen to the people doing their shit, on their own terms. While the government is shut down, there's a lot of fucking problems that can be actually solved by responsible people who elect themselves. I feel it's gonna last a very long time. I feel like it's gonna last a fucking month. Not only it's gonna be shut down, but it's gonna be quite a lengthy shutdown. It will feel good at first, but something will collapse, and then they will realize, oh shit, maybe we gotta fucking come back together on this one.
The Senate,
Thems are always gonna be like super destructive if they have the power to shut down the government. Absolutely, they're gonna fucking take whatever they can get. They're gonna abuse any amount of power. This is fucking happening, my friends. I have no doubt about it. All right, let's listen to this.
Have you heard father could somehow afford a house, a car, and also put multiple kids through?
None of these things are good. Wife, maybe. House is not a good thing. All right, apartment is actually better. Car is not a good thing in general. You want convenience. Car is not convenience, my friends. Car is not freedom. It's a lie. And wife, sure. I guess women exist to you after all. And pushing kids through college, yeah, it's nice that there's a little bit of resistance. You don't want to push people through college, actually. You don't actually want to educate them. Funny enough. They have to learn things on their own terms. They have to ask questions about everything. Which includes asking questions of, can you hire me? And why not? What do I have to do to get hired? If they say college degree, they're pieces of shit. And you don't want to work for pieces of shit. People who are genuinely capable of giving a job, they're also capable of understanding whether you are capable of taking the job. So none of these things are actually upsides in the grand scheme of things.
And also put multiple kids through college.
People. Again, you can just say, like, you can get a bad wife or a good wife. Potentially people were forced to get one in the first place. Potentially baby boomers happened because there was nothing better to do than just have a family. That was the trendy thing to do. You can never fucking just grab whatever people had in the past and say that was the best thing ever. All right, and we have to have more of it, but if we have a scarcity of that, we potentially ran away from shit like this. I can tell you, I ran away from college, I ran away from having a car, I kind of run away from women in general, and I definitely run away from having a fucking house, because there are actually downsides to it. Maybe those downsides are going to be technologically patched, but right now, as it stands, bro was bragging about fucking nothing, Back in my day, we literally had fucking nothing, That's what he said, We try to make benefits, to get benefits of the things we own, obviously. We try to make use of the car. We try to make use of the the wife and kids. We try to use them, bro, for the greater good. But right now, we rather not have children that fucking nag us all the time. We rather just have peace and quiet, right? And we can definitely afford that. Life nowadays is still better. Now, during apocalypse, everyone is gonna scream. Everyone's gonna scream, guys. During apocalypse, everyone is in pain.
To get ahead financially.
More expensive today, but they're bigger and nicer.
The home.
Bigger and better. Well, no one actually fucking needs this. I'm telling you guys, no one needs this. Houses are more of a scam. In fact, all of these listed things, car, house, wife, kids, are a fucking scam. First and foremost, like, to an inexperienced person, they will never be able to balance out these 4 things in their life. Even one of those things is a fucking disaster to try and balance. I'm gonna try and balance a fucking house. We'll see how that goes. You know? I'll have to, you know? Now it's turning into an actually upside. A house is turning into an upside. I can imagine wife being an upside too, eventually. But for now, wife means searching. Wife means giving up. Wife means wasting a lot of time and being nagged by some random women, basically, and exposing myself. Wife does not mean good things. So potentially there's actually even a timeline that has been fucking drawn immediately, which is to get a car after you have a house. You get a fucking vehicle of transportation. Maybe it's not a car, but maybe car is fine, right? But self-driving car, because you still need a license for that. There's so many obligations when you own a car. So transportation would be nice. I can get transportation. Even learning to get a bike, right? To drive a bike, that's fine. And I'm having a house that I just have to refurbish, so I'm not actually getting the full thing. And maybe instead of a wife, I get a partner. You know, you kind of like get to the extent of what you can handle. If you take the entire thing, if you fucking make marriage commitment to something, that's a big fucking deal. You know, you're actually committing. What are you doing? One of the worst things you can do in the face of capitalism is commit to things that don't work. Commit to things that are fucking early adoption. Become an early adopter of things that fucking, you know, they can burn into pieces and be replaced by something else. This is the greatest fire and the greatest danger zone, and the reason of why waiting fucking matters. People have to realize and boycott all these nice houses and not buy them. Or sell them for cheap. You know, it's like, well, they're not actually worth anything, unfortunately. Some people must understand that. And then we're gonna get the actual housing, the exact fucking proportional housing that is supposed to be. Worldwide as well. Built all over the place. And actually built. Someone is actually gonna fucking build the damn thing. So people have to actually get their powers in check. They're still not having any power. They're still like poor, you know? But when it comes to being an authority, when it gets replaced, then it becomes the giving season. Then becomes the fucking Christmas for everyone. You know, then everyone gets candy. If you really need it. You might not need most of the things though. But then potentially like owning a house and like you really need a house, you really like your house, then you can brag about it.
This data show more Americans own homes today than did when I was a kid.
Well, it's a little bit harder though. But you know, the spread is nice. Not only this, the most important thing to actually look after is quality of food. Yes, food is not cheap, but it's quality that matters. I think the quality of food is just ever so slightly keeps going up. And that is the thing that makes the biggest difference in the end of just people's well-being. And most importantly, it's like the easiest thing to share and socialize over just food. Capitalism is not going to fix all the problems, my friends. It's going to leave a few gaps unchecked. But knowing how stupid people are, I really don't care, you know, if they are the ones struggling. I'm smart and I'm struggling, okay? I don't give a fuck about the stupid people struggling, which is like the majority. If you take them out of the equation and you stop their suffering, basically, you can easily do that. You cannot easily fucking stop suffering of smart people. And even though I'm struggling, technically I'm not. It's still apocalypse related, so I can fucking be deceived. Or it's exactly the same as it used to, it's just more extreme. Where, like, I have the money, but I still can't even fucking live in my apartment properly, you know? I get the money coming in, but I have health problems, I have stress problems, I have drama. So it's more extreme. Like, I can sit in my fucking room, do nothing, and be fine, but I can't, because it's not easy, actually. It used to be different. Everything changes all the time, and your sayings of, like, get out of mom's basement can turn into a fucking insult. Instead of, like, inspiring push to do something useful to society, it can literally be an insult where you're gonna lose a friendship because you said, get out of mom's basement. Because you have this stupid principle drilled into your fucking head because you still believe the past is present. It's no longer present, my friends.
$1,000. Now it's about $300.
People did not just go on vacation. People did not fly all across the country.
But TikTok,
We're going to go back to the old days.
why do people put out this misinformation?
It's not actually misinformation, though. We do lose something as we enter capitalism. He just doesn't fucking feel any of that shit. He doesn't feel like he lost anything at all. We lost relationships, bruh. All of that is still relationship related. Having a house, having a car, having a wife, children. It's kind of a relationship as well. Relationship status. Commitment status as well. It's technically NPC leveling up. And people struggle, basically try to keep up. And the percentage doesn't actually disclose the fact that people are more individualistic than ever before. And they feel more pain. The 35% left over, they feel more pain than ever before. You don't understand, like, number go up isn't always a self-descripting thing.
Really easy for a politician.
You must understand, like, there's a thing called inequality, that it fucking hurts people. Just simple inequality, because it makes people feel disconnected from reality. Like, they don't appreciate reality anymore. Because they can't comprehend of, like, how can a person have $1 billion? Like, what is going on? It's always going to slow down everyone else who are crushed by this, like, inequality crisis inside them. Like, they might never be able to make it. It's more prevalent than ever before. There's just a few stats is not going to fucking reveal that it's misinformation of any kind. Those will always, falls flat in the end. Like, you can't push all the way 100% his beliefs of capitalism, especially when capitalism itself is about to fall down. And things are supposed to be affordable eventually. It's just we have went off the rails with the capitalism, with ownership, with just allowing people to own things. Doesn't matter anymore. What do they own? How they interact with each other? That shit doesn't matter. This game is just very unhinged and it causes problems. In fact, his little favorite thing that's active and supposed to, like, solve everything, yes, but it's also the cause of all the problems as well. And it causes more problems than it solves. Because that's an NPC system. NPC's gonna cry that they don't have something. I will cry that I don't feel safe in the YouTube, ecosystem. That's what I will complain about. I don't really feel safe. I feel that there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of skibbity mindset to support rich and famous and to disrespect the poor. I don't feel safe. I might have just enough things to stay on the YouTube and enjoy, this platform, but I don't feel safe in here. I feel that something is suspicious, something is going down. Sometimes people buy into some bullshit because it's a simple answer for them of like, yes, that other thing is misinformation. I finally proven it. We can move on and start trashing them and now ask why. Why would they even think like that? While capitalism makes everything simple, life goals are not simplified. They are exponentially 100 times more complicated. Life goals just like the possibilities of even just buying a specific type of fucking yogurt. You have hundreds of choices. You have hundreds of choices within hundreds of choices to maximize your life, to make your life better. You have to be able to choose from hundreds of things. Some things break, some things deceive you, some things work only for a limited amount of time. You have to juggle in between such crazy concepts of choices being presented to you where everyone wants your money, everyone wants to give you something in exchange, and you are bombarded with mathematical problems every fucking day. You have to decide, do I choose this thing? Do I choose that thing? It's fucking hard. And people are disconnected. People are individually having to deal with this shit. Of course, whatever the fuck is going on with Trump's speech is going to be appealing to the masses because they don't have to choose anymore. They feel a relief. While fucking Stossel is choosing to talk to all the other people, I could talk to Stossel, right? And tell him the truth. Because I'm already raging. Why did he choose someone else? It fucking hurts. But we see the internet open up and like there's limited amount of things you can actually choose from unlimited of pool of choices. It hurts every time. Everyone is living in pain, my friends.
To say tendency to
See, money is a problem, and the thing that money represents is everything. Money is literally everything, but that's the problem.
believe in the things that are wrong.
And they didn't send their kids to college. All on one.
Wow, he improved the meme. And this one, he should have said cars didn't exist, colleges didn't exist, and family never knew what food is. Only on Sundays, you know? No one wants to go back in time, not even 10 years. Trust me. But what does that mean? If you wouldn't travel back in time 10 years, it is worth waiting for the future, isn't it? Even just a couple of days can change a lot. Anyways. But of course, you also have to be ready to purchase the next best thing that comes out. You have to train yourself. One of the good ways to actually put yourself in line for the next best thing to happen is be on a budget. $100 budget. Be on a fucking budget. Buy budget things until it becomes so good that you potentially make the $200 budget, you improve it, if you give a fuck about that at all, right? But even just learning how to use it, learning to adopt the thing, and potentially then you make the jump to buy the thing that changed your life for real this time. This whole thing is a waiting system. You buy some shitty fucking thing and you wait on it, you sit on it, you try to, understand it as best as you can. So you're not just flexing, you're not just wasting money. There's no really such thing as having too much money. It is a thing of not finding places to put the money into, not being kind, which is fucking obvious, isn't it? It's fucking obvious. Who's not kind? People who complain about having too much money. Oh my god. I never thought that day would come, but it came. Welcome to the future, guys.